What's going on, guys? It's Megadan29. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We are going to shoot from a different angle here, so you guys can see all the PS2 games and everything else. Whole bunch of stuff there. Wii up top, Xbox 360, just a different angle. Got the Sega Genesis on the bottom. Obviously, I'm running out of space, as you can freaking tell. I'm looking at that right now like, wow. I need to do something about that, man. I need our bookshelf. I'm gonna have to get another one. But anyway, this video is sort of a response to Russ Lyman and NES Addict's Bit by Bit podcast. And a lot of times when I'm mowing the lawn and doing stuff around the house and things like that on my days off, I listen to their podcast. They have a really good podcast. Definitely go check that out. I'll try to remember to throw it in the description below or something like that so you guys can check it out. But just type in Russ Lyman, L-Y-M-A-N, Bit by Bit. And you'll see all the episodes, and it's really fun to listen to. It's the stuff I like to listen to when I'm doing stuff. So, they did a video that was like a $100 challenge on Super Nintendo, and I thought it was really interesting to listen to. So I was hoping that a video like this would actually get some responses from everybody, and maybe want you to do it. I had fun doing it, so I thought maybe everybody else could have fun doing it. And we could see each other's videos, and it'd be kind of a cool thing, you know what I mean? So, what I thought was, here's the rules. The rules are you take $100, you go on like price charting, and you take your $100 and you have to go off the loose price. And you make yourself a collection of any games you want on the Super Nintendo with, you can't go over $100. As long as you don't go over $100, you're good. So that's the rules. It's pretty simple, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to name the games I took, and then a reason of why I took them, and then I'm going to say some other like honorable mention, basically, that I couldn't fit. There's nothing I could do. So here we go. The first one is, for $13.02, Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. And you guys know how much I love this freaking game. I have a CIB. Obviously, this is a loose price, $13.02. So I play Griffey Baseball like crazy. We do it a lot on the channel. I've played through a full season on there, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, literally one of my favorite baseball games to date. I mean, it literally is my favorite baseball game to date. Probably my favorite sports game, period, unless we're talking wrestling counts. But, yeah, that's definitely my favorite sports game. So good. It just never gets old. The replayability is so good. You can always pick another team and just run through a season. They last a while. It's just fun to play. It's just a great game, and it's also fun two-player. Even though I've never really been able to do that, just a few times, but when I did, it was a lot of fun. And just a great game. I really wish there was more Ken Griffey Jr. baseball tournaments and stuff like that. But anyway, I picked that game because of how much I can play it. I mean, it'll just never get old. That's a must-have in the collection. And that's only using 13 bucks. Alright, the second one is dipping into some expensive stuff, but I have to have it. And that is Super Punch-Out for $37. And thank you, Nick Hudgens. But $37 is a big chunk of my $100. But Super Punch-Out's a game that I probably don't go a month without playing. It's one of those like Contra and everything else, and Ninja Gaiden, that I just love and that I adore, and I could just play it forever. That's another game that I can just pop in and play and play and play. And even though it's using $37 worth of the money, it's worth it because of how much replayability I have. And anybody who doesn't really give Super Punch-Out a chance, but you love the Punch-Out in the NES, I kind of noticed that as a trend. That, like, people have played Punch-Out, but they've never played Super Punch-Out. It's like, dude, Super Punch-Out has like its own style, and it's really, really, really good. So I definitely think that you should try Super Punch-Out. Definitely do that. It's like my favorite game on the Super Nintendo. Alright, next one goes into, I try to get like a shooter, something with some action, and it was somewhat affordable, and that I could play a lot, because there's another game later that's going to go with this that I couldn't do it because it was too expensive. But this game really grew on me, and that is Total Carnage, and I don't have that handy, it's over there somewhere. Total Carnage on the Super Nintendo. Total Carnage is the second game to Smash TV, and it's just, you're these army dudes, and you're trying to stop this, like, basically Adolf Hitler guy, and it's really freaking awesome. It really grows on you when you learn how to play it. But I had Gaming Off the Grid Wes over here not too long ago, and we tried playing it 2-player. Man, I'll tell you this. 2-player, that game is no freaking joke. It's actually way harder. So one player is really fun to do, and I still have never gotten like the bonus room, so it's fun to try to find the keys and do that. And it's just a really good game. I had the game when I was a little kid. My dad had it, and we'd go over there and play it. And I was never good at it, but like I said, when you get older and you learn how to play it and what you need to do, and man, it's a fun game. So Total Carnage was $17.68. $17.68. The next game I went with was a sports title, also, that has a lot of replayability and something you can play with your friends. And that is NBA Jam for $12.99. $12.99. NBA Jam, everybody knows what it is. It's very replayable. It's one of the best sports games ever, for sure. Just a really great game. And this is not Tournament Edition. This is the original. And it's just something you can play with friends. It's something you can pop in anytime. You can run through a season. You could try to just have a huge record or something like that, because you can keep your little initials on there. So the replayability is huge. And I just thought NBA Jam was kind of cheap. And I was like, you know what? That'd be a solid one to pick. The next game on my list is Super R-Type. I went with a shooter. I really wanted a shooter on the system. And with the honorable mentions, you'll see why some other shooters didn't make it that I enjoy. Super R-Type won, not because it's my favorite shooter on the Super Nintendo, but it was $12.70. It worked out with the price. And the good thing about something like Super R-Type is you can, it's not an easy game. So to do something like a no-death run, it would take a lot of training, and it'd take a lot of replaying it and stuff like that. So I felt like, well, that adds a lot of replayability. That'll get a lot of play out of me, because I'd be trying to no-death run it. So that'd be really tough to do. And it's a good game. It's a really good game. There's a lot of other shooters on the Super Nintendo, though, that are very, very good as well. But the Super R-Type, with the price versus the difficulty and the replayability, made it to where I was like, okay, Super R-Type wins. And last but not least, I had a little bit of money left, and I used $5.12 on Madden 94. Went with another sports title. And the reason I did this is because, for one, I only had a little bit of money left, and for two, Madden 94 is one of my favorite sports games, one of my favorite football games for sure. And I only played the one on the Sega Genesis, but I'm assuming the one on the Super Nintendo is the same, if not better, if not a little bit worse. But either way, it's, I'm sure, very close. But Madden 94 is a game that I've played through so many seasons. It has the Bears 85 on there, has all the classic teams on there. It's really good. It's really good. It doesn't say the name of the players on that game, but I knew most of the players that had their number on it and stuff like that. And it was really fun, dude. It's just a really good game. I've played through so many seasons in my life in that game, so the replayability is definitely there. So my total came out to $98.51. So I had just enough money. Obviously, I didn't have any money to get another game. So that is my list. I got 6 games. You might ask yourself, before I do some of these honorable mentions, you might ask yourself, dang, Dan, where the heck is the Mario games? Here's the thing with, I know a lot of people pick go-to stuff like Mario All-Stars and Mario World. I get it, and those are great games. I'm not taking anything away from them. For one, Mario All-Stars is basically just all the NES games. You know what I mean? You got Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 2 Japan. It's just a Mario 3. Those are all on the NES. I don't need them on my Super Nintendo. So Mario World would be the only one that I really want. But then even Mario World, I've played it so much in my life. I've seen a million people play it. And nowadays, when I'm getting older, I'm just kind of Mario'd out, you know? And that's not no knock on Mario. Like, I love Mario games. But the old school Marios, I'm just kind of... I've played them enough to where they're cool to have on, but they're nothing that I would play regularly. I haven't been playing Mario in like forever, you know. I think I tried it over on the Play Choice, but didn't play it for very long. You know what I mean? It's cool to have, but it's not just something I pop in all the time, you know. And honestly, if I were to play a Mario game nowadays, it'd probably be a newer one anyway, to be honest with you. So that's why I didn't go with an obvious like Mario game. And then I'll get into my honorable mentions, and that'll put why I didn't pick maybe some other games you're thinking about. So one of them that I didn't pick, that I did pick, but I didn't have enough money for it, was Donkey Kong Country at $18.09. And Donkey Kong Country was another one that's a great game, but I've played it so much in my life and seen so many people play it in my life that it's just kind of like overdone. I'm just done with it. I don't really need it in a collection. I don't need to replay it. Like, I'll be honest, if I never played Mario World or Donkey Kong Country again in my life, like, that'd be fine. I've played it so much that I don't really need it. And like I said, that's no knock on it. I mean, I love it. It's a great game. Both of them are awesome. It's just I'm not going to play it much anymore. So if I'm making an honest list today with $100, I wouldn't select those because I don't want to play them. You know what I mean? So that's why I didn't go with that. One of the shooters I didn't go with, it came close though, was Darius Twin at $15.63. And what it was I just didn't have enough money for it. Because R-Type was $12.70 and Darius Twin was $15.63. So it would have been just up over it. And to be honest, in my opinion, like, R-Type's probably the better game, you know? Darius Twin's cool, but it's also just a lot easier. And with some of these easier games, I went with, I'd rather have a little bit harder one that would be hard to get a no-death run of or something like that, so I would play it more. You know what I mean? So that was the thinking in that. That's what went into that. Another one I didn't pick was Castlevania 4, and I think this is obvious. Castlevania 4 is one of my favorite games on the console, but it goes for $48.38. I mean, it's ridiculously expensive. That'd be literally almost half my money. So you'd be getting like that and like, I don't know, maybe 2 other games. And I had to have Super Punch-Out, which was $37, so I had to, man. Ours, I would have only gotten those 2 games. And I mean, let's be honest. If I just had only those 2 games, it'd get pretty boring. You know what I mean? At least for me. Another one I couldn't get was Contra 3: The Alien Wars. Why? Because it was $45. Same issue. I felt like out of all of them, I had to have Super Punch-Out. I had to have Super Punch-Out. It's my favorite game, man. I mean, I play it all the freaking time. So Contra 3 is really good too, but I just didn't have room for it. A game that I'm surprised I didn't make room for, but I must have been trouble juggling it around, wasn't exactly the cheapest thing in the world though, was Super G&G. Super Ghouls and Ghosts, one of my favorite games on the console. I guess I just felt like I don't need to have it. I've done a no-death run of it. I love the game. But will I keep replaying it? Will I play it a bunch of times and this and that? I'm not really sure. Sorry, I'm trying to hold back a freaking yawn. I keep on wanting to yawn. It's late right now. I just got home from work. But, yeah, Super G&G was $25. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Now, this is a game that I still haven't beaten, and that's why I kind of selected it. And I feel like once I really dip into the game this October is probably when I'm going to play it. I have a feeling I'm going to fall in love with it because I grew up with it. I liked it a lot. I love the idea of it. It's a cool, goofy game. It's got all the characters in it, lots of different guns and things like that. So I feel like when you dissect the game, it's going to be one of those, like, holy crap, I love that game. Like a cult following to the game, you know? Another thing, it was $35.47. $35.47, so it was kind of pricey. And I'm like, man, that and Super Punch-Out right there would be, like I said, a lot of my money. And Zombies Ate My Neighbors isn't one of my favorite games on the console. It's just one that I might grow to love later. Another one, UN Squadron, an awesome shooter, but $29.27, so just about $30, where I got Super R-Type for $12.70. So it was just a price thing. I love UN Squadron. It's a good game. I probably like it better than R-Type and Darius Twin, but it's expensive. I just didn't have the room for it, and that's why it's interesting to do a list like this, because that's very interesting. Here's a big one, the Super Smash TV. Love it. Love Super Smash TV. $40 loose nowadays. Whew. It's went up, dude. $40 freaking dollars. So the obvious choice was, well, obviously I can't do it for the price, so I went with Total Carnage, which I really liked also, and Total Carnage was only $17.68. So it was a very small increment of what Super Smash TV was. I mean, 40 bucks, holy cow. If I was going to make room for Super Smash TV, then I would have been thinking of stuff like, okay, Donkey Kong Country and all this other stuff. Super Ghouls and Ghosts was $25. I mean, both those games instead of Super Smash TV, I definitely would have did that. And last but not least, a game that I always enjoy, but man, some people just hate it, and I don't know why. I think it's a really fun game. I actually played it on the Genesis, though, was True Lies. The movie True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the game is $48.82. So the game is extremely expensive. I mean, once again, I would just get Contra 3 instead of that. I would get Castlevania 4 instead of that, you know. So there was just games that beat it, and it wasn't that good of a game. So anyways, guys, that's my list. That's what I went with. And I know in the podcast they kept things like there's a lot of cool beat-em-ups and stuff like that. And a lot of it was, you know, stuff like Final Fight and stuff. I like those games, but I don't love it. Like the Super Nintendo Final Fight's not very good. It's only one player. And to be honest, I didn't like it very much. You know, there's a lot of other things to play it on. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, man. Freaking yawns. I don't want yawns in the video, but I'm tired. But anyway, that's why I didn't go with that. There was just a lot of things like that. There's a lot of good beat-em-ups. There's like Knights of the Round and stuff like that, but it's over $100. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, you know. King of Dragons. It's a very expensive game. Super expensive. Super Double Dragon, I don't know what it goes for, but, like, I didn't love that game. I'd rather have something like Total Carnage or some of these sports games. I think I picked a solid list for myself. But, guys, if you want to make a list like this, it'd be super cool, and I even thought about doing other systems. So, man, if you would do responses to this, it'd be really cool. But definitely go check out Russ Lyman's Bit by Bit podcast. I have a lot of fun listening to it. And NES Addict's on there. NES Addict's a great guy. And it's just really fun to listen to it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get going. God bless.